Alright, I think we're just gonna watch this video because I really don't know what to do. There's like nothing else to do, so we'll watch it.
Do you know this one? I'll read what it says here. It says, "No one has ever seen God, but God is the one and only who is at the Father's side has made him known." Right here, it says, no one has ever seen God, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You believe that? You take that? You want to read it? That's your book. This is what you take.
You bet.
Right here, same chapter, John 5:19.
Right.
It says here, Jesus gave them this answer. "I tell you the truth, the Son can do nothing by himself. He can do only what he sees his Father doing. No one sees, he only does what he sees." Internal contradiction. So then this book has internal contradictions. Can we agree on that? Odo, you don't say yes or no answers. What do you say about this internal contradiction?
One of the basic principles of interpreting any book is you have to read in context. And obviously, when you read John chapter 1, the main point is Jesus is God in human form. He begins.
But then,
Ma'am, am I allowed to answer you or not?
But you're not making sense. You say the same
Well,
thing
then why are you
over and
wasting
over
your
and
time
over
standing here
again?
talking to me if
Because
I'm not
look at
making
all
sense?
these people here who have questions. There's
Fine, then why don't you let me go on to other people? If I don't make sense, ma'am, why do you waste your time?
Why am I going to let you misguide them with your misguidance?
Oh,
I'd
I
rather
see.
sit here and
So
use
you have to
logic
sort of
and
be a
understand
parasite
it.
who comes in here and just feeds off the people who are listening to me talk?
Absolutely.
He did not need to say that. I don't think.
Why am I going to let you misguide them with your misguidance?
Oh, I see.
Like, you know, like, yeah, but like, he did not.
Sit here and
So
use
you have to
logic and
sort of be a
understand
parasite
it.
who comes in here and just feeds off the people who are listening to me talk?
Technically, I guess that's what Jesus did.
Waste your time.
To the Pharisees, but I guess.
Why am I going to let you misguide them with your misguidance?
Oh,
I'd
I
rather
see.
sit here and
So
use
you have to
logic
sort of
and
be a
understand
parasite
it.
who comes in here and just feeds off the people who are listening to me talk?
Absolutely, why not? You've
Well,
already
that's
made a
pretty
fool
sad.
of yourself here anyways.
Why, that's pretty sad.
I'm
Why
not
can't
gonna
you just be
undo
open
you.
and honest and have an honest dialogue?
Let him explain this.
Yep,
Go ahead.
okay.
Explain this.
Thank you.
Okay.
John chapter 1. John begins with the words, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Crystal clearly, John 1:1 is stating the deity of Christ. The word there is Christ. The Greek word is logos. Obviously, by reading John 1, you know he's talking about Christ. Obviously, he's hearkening right back to Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, which says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." John is taking that and putting it in Greek. John 1:1, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Nobody has seen God. I haven't seen God. You haven't seen God. But the claim of John is, and the claim of Jesus is, that he is God, revealing himself in human form. That's clearly, unmistakably what John 1 is teaching. And you don't have to have a PhD in New Testament. Just read it yourself, and you'll figure that out.
John. It's both John. I didn't flip to even a different chapter. It's 2 pages away. Both John saying, one saying no one sees God, the other one saying Jesus sees God. Is it saying Jesus sees himself? Is it
Not just hear him? He literally said that Jesus is God, and it says that in John 1:1.
something that everyone who reads
Yes,
the
that's
Bible
exactly
and
right.
takes it as their
Jesus
own
is
are supposed
claiming to be
understand?
God, revealing himself in human form. That's his
And
claim.
he sees himself.
No, you're
Why
not
would
God.
John write that?
You're not God. What's the difference? Well, if you die and rise from the dead, I will listen very closely to
Why
everything
is
you
that
have
the
to
only
say.
why is that the one thing that you take? Why
Did
don't
you
you
see
take
George Washington inaugurated first president of the United States?
Other people did. I trust that.
Good, and other people saw Christ die on a cross, and they saw him risen from the dead.
But they have internal contradictions.
No,
within
there's
their
no
same
contradiction
chapter.
there. We human beings do not see God, but when God chose to become a human being in Jesus Christ, obviously Jesus knew the Father very, very intimately, very, very well. In the Quran, we read, Jesus is a good prophet, he is not God. The problem is the historical Jesus claimed to be God.
That could be an internal contradiction. Is on one page it says something, on a different page it says something
Same girl on a different day.
else. Like the gentleman that left mentioned about the creation.
You're
how
right.
Creation
This video.
The Quran does not contradict itself, I agree.
So then
But
we'll
it
go to point number two.
contradicts
Point number
the
two.
historical evidence that Jesus claimed to be God.
Claimed. From what, John and Joseph and Mike and whoever?
That's right, ma'am, and that's the only thing. That's the only way I can know anything historically. Historical knowledge is based on the trustworthiness of eyewitness testimony.
So then why take what John and those people said 500 years before what Muhammad came with?
That's exactly why I trust John, because he lived with Jesus. Muhammad was the dude who never met Jesus.
doesn't it
John
come-
met Jesus,
but
listened to Jesus.
But doesn't it come with time that things like that become more inaccurate? Jesus' book isn't here. Jesus' book is not here.
Yes, the Gospels
The
of
same
Matthew,
way.
Mark, Luke, and John
The
were written
same-
in the first century.
Okay, Moses' book,
Eyewitnesses,
the Torah.
that's what I want when it comes to historical
Moses'
knowledge.
book, the Torah, right? Did Jesus believe in the Torah? Did Jesus follow Moses?
Yes, Jesus believed the Torah was the Word of God, very
So
clearly.
then why do you accept Jesus as a successor of Moses and you don't accept Muhammad as a successor of Jesus?
Because Muhammad contradicted Jesus.
But you don't have any way to tell whether or not what Jesus came with is the exact same as what Moses came with, because the book Moses came with is not the same today as it was at the time. Can you agree with me on that?
No, that made no sense
Yes,
to me.
of
I'm
course
sorry,
it
I'm not
did.
smart enough to figure
Of
out what you
course
just
it
said
did.
there. Makes no sense to me.
Okay,
What
to
on
you,
earth did
right
you just
now,
say?
right now, the book that Moses came with.
Yes?
Do you agree Jesus
He didn't
memorized?
come with anything. He wrote something.
He didn't write anything. It was revealed to him.
Baloney. Moses
It was
wrote.
revealed to him.
No.
Oh, baloney, Moses. Oh, baloney. I'm sorry. That's just.
He wrote something.
He didn't write anything. It was revealed to him.
Baloney. Moses
It was
wrote.
revealed to him.
No.
Did she just say that Muhammad didn't write anything? He literally wrote the entire thing. Yeah, it was revealed to him. It was the words were revealed, but then he wrote it down. If I'm not, I will look this up. Quran was not written by the Prophet Muhammad according to Islamic tradition. According to Muhammad recited the verse as he received them. Yeah, where did he get it from though? Just curious. I don't look into this stuff. Receive the Quran. Oh God. So God showed him the Quran. Roughly 6,200 verses. There's no fixed numeral count of connections in the Quran. It was all. So roughly. There's no connections. How do you have a book that was given you from God that it doesn't have a connect of foreshadowing? Because in the Bible we have like a bunch of connections, right? And like from like a lot of years, 40 different people across 5 different continents, something like that, and they have I don't know how many connections are. Pretty sure there's a picture. He just jumped. Okay. 63,000. I'm pretty sure there's a picture of like all the connections. Yeah. This right here. This is all of the connections and counterpoints. You see how it reaches from Genesis all the way to Revelation? That's like actually insane. From all the way to the beginning to the entire end. 63,779. That's insane. And there's none. There's absolutely none. How are you going to believe that some random guy who was a pedophile, married a child, received a book from God, and all of a sudden we believe that some pedophile is God? I'm not, y'all never said he was God, but y'all act like it. Just saying. Y'all do act like Muhammad is God. Wait, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. You say you believe in God, but then you praise Muhammad. Like, that doesn't make sense. That's actually insane. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Weird.
He wrote something.
He didn't write anything. It was revealed to him.
Baloney. Moses
It was
wrote.
revealed to him.
No book floated out of
So
heaven to
then what
Moses.
makes him a prophet?
Moses wrote.
What makes him a prophet? The fact that he was a self-proclaimed prophet? He was a good writer? There's plenty of good writers. That doesn't make them prophets.
Goodness gracious, man. No way.
What
Do I
is your
accept this
definition of a
kind
prophet?
of floating out of heaven
What?
book that you do?
No one's saying it's floating out of heaven. I
Well, then
told
what
you
are
that
you
it's
saying?
revealed through angels. Do you believe
Moses
in angels?
wrote. No, an angel didn't write the.
How are you gonna believe that it was? I would rather believe that someone wrote it than it came that someone gave it to him. I guess that's a little hypocritical because yeah, Moses received the commandments from heaven, I guess. But like, still, you can't. Muhammad definitely did write it, but also Moses also wrote it because he received the words from God, right? But are they saying that they received the book? Is that what they're saying? Like, did he receive the? That's what I thought. I didn't know he. Yeah, I didn't think he received the actual like book.
Torah.
No one said
Moses
an angel
wrote it.
it.
Wrote
No
it,
one
not
said
an angel.
wrote it.
And no angel.
So she doesn't even know what she's talking about. Because it wasn't because the book wasn't given to him. It was the words and he wrote it down. So she doesn't even know what she's talking about.
Angel wrote the New Testament either. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Peter, James wrote the New Testament.
So what makes someone a prophet? And not a random great writer?
What makes someone a prophet is that God inspires them. And there's absolutely no way that I can show you who a prophet is. If this guy claims to be a prophet, I can't just blindly say, yes, he's a prophet, or no, he's not a prophet. I have to observe how he lives his life. I have to listen to what he believes.
So again, we'll talk about what makes someone a prophet. Your definition of a prophet, and I'll follow with mine. You said a good writer.
No, I didn't.
But again, so we're
A
all on the
prophet
same
is
page.
someone who's inspired by God, but I can't show you that someone's inspired by God. It's impossible.
So this is something in your own heart.
I can't show you that a book is inspired by God. And don't you understand? That's why it's so hard for you and me to have an intelligent conversation.
Okay.
Because you just lapsed into,
Can I answer?
this is inspired by God.
Can I
This
Islamics are super duper hard to debate. They're so hard to debate. I've never had one, but I just know they're so hard to debate because you could say something and then they'll say, "Well, that happened in the Bible too." You know what I mean? It's super duper hard to debate them. It's so hard.
is from God. This is from an angel. Well,
listen.
fine, but there's no way you can show that.
Okay, you're here right now. The purpose of you coming here is to quote unquote guide misguided people. I talked to the people who brought you and they said your point is not to convert people to Christianity. Your point is to get atheists and agnostics to believe in Jesus.
No,
Yeah.
and you, I pray you'll come to believe in Jesus.
Where'd you get that from? Evangelism's goal is not to make someone or force someone to do it. We just want to spread the word, 'cause that's what the Bible says. 'Cause the Bible says to spread it. We're just spreading the word. We're not forcing you or trying to get you to. I mean, that would put a good reputation on us, but that's not our point. Like, that's not our goal. So, yeah. I mean, I remember when I first started evangelizing, that was my goal. Like, I'm like obsessed with trying to convert people. You know what I mean? But like, you can't do that. You can't just have one simple conversation with some someone Dog's being stupid. With someone, and all of a sudden they're a Christian. Like, yes, that's happened, but it's super duper rare, and you gotta be really good. My pastor at my old school, like, that's how he got saved. Some random woman came up to him on the street, and then all of a sudden he just became a Christian after talking to her, which is actually kind of insane. But he's the one who actually taught me how to evangelize. So sound is gone.
I
Man?
believe in Jesus. I don't
you
believe in
reject
Jesus
him as
how
God.
you do.
You don't accept his death
I
on the
believe
cross
in
for your
Jesus.
sin.
Okay, but we'll stop. We'll go here. You're here to take people to believe in Jesus. But you just said right now that you can't explain to someone that a book is inspired by God or someone else is inspired by God. So why are you here?
There is absolutely no way that any human being can prove that any book has been inspired by God.
Then why are you here to tell us to believe in the Bible?
Because I am convinced that to believe in God and to believe in Jesus does not mean you have to first believe that a book is inspired by God.
So I'm supposed
You
to take
cannot
you
blindly
as the
believe
reference
anything
between
in
me
life.
and Jesus?
And to blindly believe that the Quran or the Bible or any book has been inspired by God is such a leap of faith. I'm not asking anybody to do that.
Okay, so can we have the second part of idealize that I explained to you what a prophet is?
Sure.
A prophet is someone who comes with something extraordinary that combats everything at the time in proof of his claim. So many people came claiming they were prophets, and they did things that didn't prove their claim. The prophet Muhammad, first of all, we'll start off with Jesus, who we both agree with. Jesus was born without a father.
How do you know that?
Miracle number one.
How do you know that?
Revealed in the Quran, and when he spoke.
Revealed in the Quran,
No.
500 years after
Listen,
the
when
fact.
he spoke-
All of a sudden, because some dude says he was born without a father, you believe it?
Okay, fine. You don't believe that Jesus was born without a father. You don't
I can
believe-
promise you, ma'am, I'm not going to believe Jesus was born without a father because some dude who lived 500 years after Christ writes it in a book.
Okay, so then we'll stop right there. Forget everything about Muhammad. Do Christians believe that Jesus was born without a father?
Yeah, but not because some dude 500 years after the fact wrote it, that's for sure.
But then what do they take as their belief for Jesus being born without a
Because
father?
eyewitnesses who knew Jesus' mother, a woman named Mary, talked with her. They talked with Joseph, and they found out that indeed Mary was a virgin when Jesus was born.
So then we take
It's not something they made up 500 years later.
Okay, so then
It's something that they found from eyewitness talking.
So do we take that? We take Jesus being born without a father as a miracle. That's proof
Yes.
he's a prophet. That's proof he's a prophet, correct?
No.
Why?
Just because a miracle happens doesn't mean the dude's a prophet.
Why?
He could be a false prophet.
So then why
Miracles
don't you,
happen to
why
false
doesn't your
prophets.
mom have a son without a father? What miracles happen to false prophets? We'll go over that right now. What miracles happen to false prophets?
Man, if you get in the occult, you can go to seances and demonic powers
It's like random videos being popped up.
are shown. Supernatural powers are shown. You can go a lot of places on this planet.
But
How
we're
are
not
they
talking about
shown?
magic.
How
We're
are they
not talking about
shown?
magic.
How are they shown?
Yeah, how are they shown? Like,
All right, I'll tell you how.
factually.
You
How
bet.
can you show it in substance?
You bet.
No, answer.
I went to a
Not
prep
just-
school.
No, answer.
I am answering you.
Come on.
I went
Where
to a
can you
prep
find it
school
factually, though?
here in Connecticut, and I had a philosophy professor who went to a seance. And at the seance, the medium told him things about his past that it took him 2 weeks to remember had even occurred. This philosophy professor came
And
to our
psychologists
class.
have done that too with sexual abuse cases where they convince their clients of a history that never happened. So how do you know that's not the case? How can you prove that it's true?
You got to use your brain to figure out whether
Okay,
I'm
so
being
then
irrational
that means
or rational.
that's on the premise that you're using your brain.
Yeah, that is on a premise.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Why are you wasting your time listening to a guy who's just gibbering?
You're in our way.
You're missing my problem.
I'm
I'll
sorry,
answer that
I didn't
question.
realize that your
No.
ankle had a chain tied to the brick underneath
I'll
there.
answer that question.
I was under the impression that you chose to be here freely.
He did choose to be
Let me
here.
relieve you if you're being forced to be here.
Oh, I'm not. I'm enjoying
All
your
right.
company.
But listen,
Good. Thank you.
my problem here is you're here talking loudly, first of all. You're not having a small conversation with the group that brought you here in a small room, which most groups have. You're obnoxiously on the center of campus
Yeah.
misguiding people about your belief in
Baloney. And I'm exercising my right of free speech. And if I tried to stand up in Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan and do what I'm doing now, I'd be in prison before I knew what
And
my
it's a great
name
thing I'm
was.
an American citizen and born
Okay.
on this soil.
Good.
Great thing, isn't it?
All right.
Now, what do you take that as right there? As blindly naming Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan?
Blindly?
because you
I'm
see a
not
scarf
blindly
on
at
my
all.
head. That's ignorant. That's an ignorant move on your part. Because I have no correlation with Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan.
I didn't say you did.
Then why bring it up?
I'll tell you
Just
why.
random countries?
Because you.
Come here. Hey, bud. I don't want you chewing on this. Is that okay? Oh. Yeah. Jaquel, I cannot believe you're back.
You can't do
We're
this in South
challenging
Korea
God.
or
No.
Japan.
Every
I'm
time I
not
try and answer you, you
irrational.
cut me off.
I'm not irrational.
Yes, you are. You don't really want to reason and think.
Because
you
you're
just
not
want to
a
emote.
person to reason. I'm not emotional.
Oh, no?
I'm not
Oh,
emotional.
give me a break. You were challenging free speech. He said I was in his way.
No, I wasn't challenging. I was using my own free speech to question yours.
Oh, you can do that all
is
day
part of
long.
free
I respect
speech.
that.
So then,
That's not-
And my point is, free speech
I was making
is a
an
right
argument,
that we
though.
have in the United States of America.
Correct, and
that
in the
I
United
celebrate.
States, you look crazy right now.
Pardon?
Hold on
You
one
look
second.
crazy in the United States, and if you went to Iran or Iraq, you look crazy there as well.
So hold on.
Well, then why are you
Purpose
wasting
here?
your time
What's
talking
your
to a crazy
purpose
man?
Because you are just, it's just entertaining.
Entertaining?
What's your purpose
Smoke.
here? Why
You
are
know
you
they had
here?
better entertainment on this campus than to talk to a
Why
crazy
are
man?
Went to
you
stores?
No,
Bro said entertaining, bro. I know we just heard him. I know we just heard him. Bro said entertaining. Yo, Jaquel, have you seen my episode yet? That was a stream delay.
Have you been to stores?
You guys are hurting people.
why are you here? What did you come
I am
for?
here to introduce people to the closest friend I have, Jesus Christ.
Alright. W video. Jaquel, Jaquel, you've seen my video, right? If you haven't, we're just gonna watch it right now. Jaquel's not answering me. Okay. We'll just watch it. I'm recording right now. I'm gonna do a YouTube video where I'm just reacting to videos. Alright, so this is my episode that I did with my church, The Journey. We're gonna react to it.
How to start that, so I started a YouTube channel, and I didn't post a video for like
This is my story, kind of. It's not my whole story. Should I try to go live on YouTube because my PC might crash? Do not. If your PC will crash, don't. So I'm gonna explain this right here. So pretty much what I talk about is, I don't know. I kind of tell about how I started evangelism. I don't tell my testimony. I tell a little bit about. I tell like the very end of it. But that's about it. So here is my episode on the journey.
Welcome back to another episode of The Journey. We are joined today by our youngest guest by far, the one and only Mark Johnson.
Mark, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah,
Man, a few words must run in the family.
Well, I mean, I have to say that
I look skinnier right now than I do in this video. I look skinnier right now than I do in that video.
a little, of all the younger guests to have on first, I'm really surprised that it's Mark.
I also have to say, Chase preached yesterday and he was talking about how men float around 6,000 words.
Yes.
How many words do you speak a day, Mark, do you think?
400.
All right, the
That's probably a
microphone's
good
going to need
number.
to be closer to you. Help him out, Lance.
Yeah. Just,
Yeah, you can adjust it however. Yeah.
there you go.
Of course, I mean,
There you
we're
go.
used to
There we
Chase.
go.
We're used to Chase doing this.
Hey.
So, um,
Hey. Okay,
so anyway, we had a good, lively discussion before the camera started rolling as usual, because we've got a new podcast out there in the podcast
I
sphere.
want to know what we were talking about. I don't know if I'll be allowed to say this. Y'all want to know? No, Jaquel, you want to know what we were talking about before this? Answer me, Jaquel. I know you want to. I'm gonna wait. I know there's a stream delay. I mean, I'm gonna wait. What we were talking about before this, right? We were talking about Candace Owens, and because she started a podcast, and we were talking about her podcast. And Broxton here, like this is Broxton, right? He was crashing out over what Auburn was saying over here, like crashing out, because he was like talking some smack, and he was just not very happy about it. Lance wasn't even here yet.
That we were discussing, and I don't know if we need to talk about it or not.
I don't think it's worth it.
I think if we did, we would waste a golden opportunity having Mark on to pick his brain.
Because Mark said he didn't even know who she was.
Right. So,
but then he saw her picture and said, she looks familiar.
All right. So, Mark, we jokingly said that we were going to leave this up to you. But I don't know that it was a joke because you did ask to come on.
That's right.
So
there must be a purpose behind the asking. So
let's start with this. Have you watched or listened to every episode of The Journey?
Sound on? Because I'm trying to talk to you.
Not even close.
How many episodes would you say you've listened to?
Like 5.
5.
Okay.
Do you remember which ones they were?
I've watched way more now.
Does anything
I have watched about 20 of them now. Ever since this episode came out, I've watched about 20 of them.
stand out that you thought was interesting or that was
Get that
maybe
out of your mouth, dog. Get it. I'm gonna beat you. I'm kidding. That was mean. Come here. Since you did that, your punishment is you're gonna be on here. Okay. That's your punishment. Alright.
had questions about or anything?
No, not really.
Not really.
We should have Mark and Matthew on at the same
time.
Well, speaking of, we're on YouTube. Mark, you're also on YouTube. So tell us a little bit about what's your channel name? How did it come about? What's the purpose in it?
So it's called The Narrow Path. I think a while ago,
I broke that chain that I'm wearing like the other day.
I feel like God was kind of picking me about ministry, right? I didn't really know how to start that, so I started a YouTube channel, and I didn't post a video for like 6 months.
So you just created a channel?
Yeah, well, I didn't do anything with it. Yeah, because I didn't know what to do.
So now, what do you do with it?
I just post videos that I want to post that people have recommended to me.
Okay, so where do you get your recommendations from?
I usually have a friend that tells me what to do.
Okay, all right. So you have a little direction.
Mm-hmm.
You trust this friend?
No, not at all.
Ooh, that's
someone
dangerous.
behind the scenes is directing his content.
But did I say that I don't trust them? I
mean,
don't
what to do?
remember that.
Okay, all right. So you have a little direction.
Mm-hmm.
You trust this friend?
No, not at all.
I just said no, not at all. I don't remember that. I don't remember them asking that question. That's insane. I actually do not remember that. Jakale, answer. I'm gonna call him. Call Jakale. Call Jakale.
Ooh, that's
someone
dangerous.
behind the scenes is directing his content.
Yes.
Interesting.
A puppet master.
So why
Jewish,
did you think it
probably.
was important to create a YouTube channel?
Well, because I can't really. I want to do evangelism, right? Where I go out and talk to people, but I can't really do that because I'm like 14 and I can't drive, can't do anything.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry for pausing so much. I just need to talk to someone. He hung up on me, bro. I'll call him again. You better answer. I don't think he's gonna answer. Bro. Alright, whatever.
I thought if I did that, it put me in the right direction to start doing that.
Have you ever taken a spiritual gift test or inventory?
No, not really.
Do you think maybe you have the spiritual gift of evangelism? Is reaching the lost very important to you?
It is very important to me, yeah, but I don't know if I have that gift. I just want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be. Could be.
We'll I'll work you up a spiritual gifts test. I'll find you one and we'll look at it. Maybe after this or this afternoon. Are you gonna be up here this afternoon? Maybe a little
Well,
while.
he can't drive, so he can't.
Was not there that afternoon and never got the spiritual gift kit test from Auburn.
Yeah, it's a
He's gonna
long
be
walk
here.
Can I
home.
help you?
So,
So-
how many posts do you have?
Like
Hey,
5.
come here.
Okay.
something like that.
Do you remember each of your videos? What you discussed in those videos?
I remember I did.
Jakale.
Yo.
Yo,
Yeah.
are you watching my stream with no sound?
Oh, I was doing something.
Oh, okay. I was trying to talk to you and you weren't answering, so
Oh.
yeah. We're
Were
watching
you
my Journey
talking on
podcast video.
Discord?
Yeah. We're watching my Journey podcast video because you haven't seen it yet, and I thought you were still watching. Yeah. Yeah, no, we can do Discord.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye. All right. We're gonna wait for him. Toby, come here. Hey, come here. I think he just wants me to hold him in his lap. Come here. Come here. Hey, come here. Hi, bud. Bro. All right. What?
Sins for Teens. I did homosexuality. I think I did vaping one time.
Okay.
Because someone asked me that question. I was like, that's a very good question.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
then I made a video of it.
Okay. Now I hear you had the opportunity to evangelize at a restaurant one night.
Told you that.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about that story?
So I think it was after a concert, right? I was sitting at the bar by myself. There was a
Whoa, what restaurant?
no Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Okay.
Okay, all
I
right. He's at the bar at
cannot
Waffle
believe
House.
The
And
physical
this is-
bar.
The physical bar.
And
yeah.
I'm
a
maybe
bar.
waiting.
I cannot believe I said that. Oh my gosh. I genuinely cannot believe I said that. Hold up. I'm so sorry I'm pausing so much, but like this is like insane. I barely remember this. I was literally here. I literally lived it, and I barely remember it. I'm gonna have to cut this part out because I'm having technical issues currently. Hello? Help you? I don't know where it is. Oh. Hello? Hello?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright.
What up? Wait, talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. I'm gonna stream on the thing so you can see my screen.
Okay. Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can still
Alright.
hear it. Alright. You see this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch it.
For like maybe like an hour to get my food. 'Cause they had,
So
like,
so
too many
you
orders.
sat there because you were like, they'll cook in front of me. This is like hibachi, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, also my sister was with her friends, and I was just like, I don't want to bother them, so I just sat by
Okay.
myself.
All right.
And maybe like an hour later, this old man like sits next to me, right? And he's like trying to have a conversation with
Yeah, I
me.
can hear
So I
you.
was like, no, I'll just have a conversation with him. And
So
then we
was it
started-
awkward at first? Were you like, I don't know about this guy?
Yeah. But then we started talking, and I started talking about God, like that. And then my sister came over, and she said, Mark, you need to leave. You have to pay. So I had to get up and go pay and then leave. So I never got to finish.
So y'all are in the middle of a spiritual conversation.
Yes.
So do you remember this guy's name?
No, I never asked him his name.
Okay.
How was it going? I mean, was he receptive?
He was listening. Yeah. I don't know if he was. I don't. You don't know if you care, but like, he was listening because he seemed very interested in it.
Cool. How old would you say he was? Just a guess.
Say 74.
Oh wow,
74.
Okay.
That's pretty specific.
That's pretty cool though. 74-year-old man, and there's a 14-year-old next to him, and strikes up a conversation with him, and he's paying attention. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I'm looking for something that I sent y'all a few weeks ago.
So how often do you want to put out videos?
I used to do them every day, and then I kind of just stopped doing it for a while. but I think I'm
Last
doing
name
one today.
All right. So if you had, let's just say you're old enough to drive. All right. This is a
Yeah.
hypothetical. You're old enough to drive, and you want to pursue the evangelism idea.
Yeah.
Where, give us an example of where would be a place you would go, and how would you strike up that conversation?
I'd say I'd probably go to I'd probably go to like a retail store, like a very packed retail store.
Like
right?
where? Like where? Give us a.
Like,
Careful,
Okay.
careful in the mall. Careful.
Yeah, don't go.
no, I figured that
Mark
place
said,
would be
"Catch me at the mall, posted up in the barbershop."
that place would be closed by the time I freaking start driving.
Okay.
So,
It probably
but I would say,
like, where my
like a
dog-
big retail store,
are you
that
wanting to go?
sells,
Get off
I might go to Dick's, I might go to Academy, I might
Okay.
go, yeah.
All right. And you're just gonna post up in the parking lot? You're gonna be at the front door?
I'll probably go into the store and just walk around and talk to people probably.
Okay. Are you taking a microphone and a boombox?
No, I usually just have like a little clip on mic
Okay.
that I use.
All right. So then do you hold a mic to them and ask them the question?
No, I just let them talk because it's like very like,
So how do you start the conversation?
I usually
Do you tell them, "Hey, I'm Mark. I'm from
So-
Ridgecrest Baptist Church."
So I go up to them and I'll be like, "Hey, do you know
Where's my
Jesus?"
church
And if they say yes, I'll be like, "Okay, so like on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you going to heaven?" Right?
Okay.
And let's say they say like a 6 or a 7, right? And
6 or 7.
and I would say, well, that,
I don't remember doing that.
and
Yo,
heaven, right?
I don't remember doing that, like, at all. That's insane. I do not remember doing that. I don't remember doing the 6-7. I do not.
Okay.
And let's say they say like a 6 or a 7, right? And
Oh, wait. Okay. So what happened was I said that and I was about to start doing it and I said, no, this is like serious. And I look over at Auburn and he goes, and I went, okay.
6
I
or
just
7.
remembered it.
and
I don't remember anything about this. I barely do. Like this was not that long ago and I don't remember it.
I would say, well, that's like saying that, he died for like 60% of your sins, but when he got on that cross, he died for 100%.
I like it.
Then I'm just keeping on, yeah.
So how did you find that strategy?
So I had.
Do you listen to anybody or
Yes, I do listen.
You have some influences.
Mm-hmm. So I had the headmaster at my old school, right?
Right.
I would have appointments with him every day, and he kind of taught me how to evangelize, stuff like that.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right. So you had an
That's what I was talking about earlier when we were watching that Cliffe Knetchle debate.
elder mentor.
Mhm.
What do you want?
All right.
Here, come
So
here. No? Okay. He ran away. What just happened?
I know how to start that, so I started a YouTube channel, and I didn't post a
wow.
video for like 6 months.
My
So you just
phone sucks.
And
I think I already watched this. I don't know, but you can keep playing it. Okay.
and I would say, well, that's like saying that he died for like 60% of your sins, but when he got on that cross, he died for 100%.
I like it.
Then I'm
Okay.
just keeping on, yeah.
So how did you find that strategy?
So I had.
Do you listen to anybody or
Yes, I do listen.
you
to
have
a
some
lot of-
influences?
So
There's no one
I
home. You
had
can't really do
so
anything.
the headmaster at my old school, right?
Right.
I would have appointments with him every day, and he
I was
kind of taught me how to
phasmophobia, it wouldn't-
evangelize, stuff like that.
Okay.
I tried to
All
run
right, so you had
phasmophobia and it
an
like
elder
was crashing my stream a lot, so I couldn't get it to work. Like it was lagging on the stream, but it wasn't lagging for me. Like the colors were like it was like all orange, so I couldn't get it to work.
Mhm.
Okay.
I could barely hear you. Oh. What do you mean? This good? Is this good? Alright, we're just gonna assume. We'll just assume.
All right.
So when did you come to know Christ, and how did that happen?
I mean, I got saved when I was like 6 years old, but I didn't really, I was like 6. I think I really started taking Christ seriously when I was in the end of 7th grade,
Yeah.
something like that.
So you would say you came to know who Christ was and what he did
Mhm.
for you.
Yeah.
But it's more recent. You
Yeah.
understand the true
Mhm.
commitment.
Yes.
Me and Samantha were talking about that. And oddly enough, I kind of explained it this way. There's almost, especially for people who grow up in church,
I
There's
know
almost like
you've seen
two
this, but
moments.
but I told Auburn that I'll make a video of me reacting to it. So that's one of the reasons I'm reacting to
In
it.
their life, the moment where they understand
Can you
who Christ
shut up? Come here. Come here. Come here. Hey. Here you go.
is, and they believe it. I feel wholeheartedly, but they haven't really lived enough life to really understand the commitment to live it.
Yeah.
And it's later in life that they seem to realize that. And I think that was true for myself. I think that was true for Samantha as well.
Sure.
And it's really cool to think about. Interesting, because you have parents, like I'll talk to parents, they're like, I just don't know if my kid can know. Like, how can you know that they know? And
How'd you go?
I mean, I think you can fully know, who Christ is and what he did for you, but maybe not.
I think so. I think you can fully know what you need to know.
Yeah.
And then everything after that, you're continuing to gain knowledge and you're continuing to live out what all that means. And probably, I mean, you tell me at the end of the 7th grade, you're probably starting to think about, well, what does it really mean to know Christ and what is my responsibility? I mean, or was there a trigger moment? Did something happen near the end of the 7th grade, or you just start thinking about it more?
I say my Bible class was kind of like, because I never really learned anything in my Bible class because they all teach the same thing every year, right? I say my 7th grade Bible class, I learned a lot about it. And I kind of like, I kind of liked it. Like, I liked the class a lot. And we also had a very small class. So there was like 5 people in my class. Yeah.
That's good.
So it really kind of drew your interest, and then
Yeah.
that interest helped you realize what it looked like. It's cool.
I think the model, the little formula is really cool of asking questions. Some would say that he got that strategy from Jesus. Jesus asked a lot of,
who do you say I am?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you've heard it said, but I tell you. So I found the thing I sent y'all a few weeks ago that nobody, of course, responded to. But Mark's
Love you, Broxton.
emphasis in starting a YouTube channel as a evangelism strategy made me think of this. So this guy that I follow on Substack had a post.
What is Substack? I didn't want to. I know what is that? I'll look it up later.
Late last year, about live streaming and the technology, not the
Hey,
not the
I'm
way that
streaming right now.
we
This is my first ever
stream our
live stream.
services, but just
Watch me
what you
on
typically
Twitch.
think of
Banner
a streamer.
_ 1 2 3.
He said, I used to do a lot of street preaching. He was involved with Way of the Master pretty heavily. He did a lot of street preaching with Apologia Studios in front of abortion clinics. And then he says, so when I decided to start live streaming on Kick during Christmas break, it felt like a return to form, although with quite the technological advancements. So pause right here. I don't even know what Kick is. You know what Kick is?
Isn't it kind of like a Twitch?
I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
This is a generational thing that I'm about to bring up that I didn't even know.
Are you on Kick? Have you ever been on Kick? You
No,
just
I
know what it is.
It's like
Eli, you still here?
like it's not a very good website in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Not a clean.
How to start that. So I started a YouTube channel and I didn't post a video for like 6 months.
So you just created a channel?
Yeah, well, I didn't
and it
do
was just
anything with
blank.
it. Yeah, because I didn't know what to do.
So now, what do you do with it?
I just post videos that I want to post that people have recommended to me.
Okay, so where do you get your recommendations from?
But I would say, like a big retail.
Live streaming on Kick during Christmas break.
Twitch?
I was thinking.
It's not a very good website in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Not a clean website.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he says, you see whether you are preaching outside.
You already asked me that, bro. I said that it didn't work.
Outside an abortion clinic or on the streets of Huntington Beach or a local university, it is very similar to live streaming. Most of the time, no one is listening to you. Your view count is nothing. I describe my first few hours of live streaming as trying to entertain the wall in front of me. But occasionally, just like when you're street preaching and a heckler stops and engages, someone will enter the chat. And so I'm very interested in this is a evangelism strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we do that to an extent with the podcast, but we're not doing this
in real time.
Yeah. I mean, some people have encouraged us to do that, but I don't know that we're ever going to do that. So what do you
Bro, I don't know if y'all see this. Bro, if y'all do, y'all gotta let me on there, bro. Y'all gotta let me do that with y'all. Please. Can you stop chewing on my mouse like a weirdo?
Think about that. Like,
Dude,
did
y'all gotta
you
let me.
consider that versus like the live format rather than shooting a video and then uploading it?
I have thought about just like, going out and having like someone live stream me, and then I would take clips from it and post it.
So do you think? So your whole purpose is to really just get the news out there.
Yeah.
Get the idea, get the topic out there. You know, in the realm of Christianity. You know,
They were on their recent episode. They were talking about for their 100th episode that they do like a live episode, and I said that I really wanted to do that.
what we believe. How do you take? Have you ever had anybody really comment negatively, or kind of go back and forth with you in a way in which like, hey, I just don't believe what you're saying? Like, how do you have that discussion?
I haven't really had one though, but I would probably just answer. Usually I've had something like that, but he was kind of just more of like asking questions and stuff like that.
So how do you respond when you're discussing these topics and somebody asks you a question maybe you don't feel adequate to answer? How do you get an answer to them?
I'd probably just think back the best I can, and I said I don't really have the best answer, and then I would probably try to answer that question.
Have you ever had to research an answer?
Yes.
I know I've had to do that a couple of times with like, stuff that you're like, look, I don't want to tell you wrong right now, but let me do some research.
So is your target young teens, or do you have a target audience?
Yeah, mostly teens like my age.
So obviously you felt like there was a need for the message to get out.
I got a big forehead.
Where do you think the young teens, as a general rule, are with Christ? Are they hungry? Are they way far away? I mean, how would you describe it?
Well, most teens, the generation we live in right now, right? It's like very hard to hear Christ. I mean, like if you live in the South, like we live right now, like it's very easy to hear that. There's also most people who live somewhere else, and it's very hard to hear that. So I was like, if most people aren't hearing it, why don't I just do it?
Why not?
Yeah. So for your context that you've been in, previous school, different things you're a part of, how would you say those students are? Are they receptive to the message? Are they interested but maybe don't care? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that old school, right? It was very. I don't want to like bash on it, right?
No,
it was just very like
I'll bash on it. I'm kidding.
Like there weren't a lot of good people there, right? Like they're hypocrites.
I swear I look fatter in this than I do right now. I swear I swear I'm skinnier right now than I was. May I help you? Hey, come here. Come here. All right, fine.
Okay.
If I might say.
Say one thing, maybe do another.
Yeah. But I do have a group of friends from there that we do a Bible study every Friday.
Okay.
So, and they're very Christ-like people.
Okay.
So what are y'all going through right now?
So we have people lead every week, and I'm usually going through Psalms right now.
Cool.
I have different books of Psalms.
Let's go.
Who's in the stream? I think it's
there
just
is?
you. I don't know who
It's
the
only
other
4 of
person
us.
4. How do you meet?
So they're
This
I
is
met
Toby,
them
if you'll
from
come
like
over here.
kindergarten,
Hey.
right?
No. I mean,
my
each
bad.
week.
On
Each
each
week.
Friday.
Oh, each week?
No.
Oh, we just FaceTime each
Y'all
other.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
We haven't FaceTime in a while.
So that's neat because
We need to
that
start
goes into
FaceTime
different
again.
avenues about live streaming to get a message out, uploading YouTube videos, FaceTiming to have Bible studies, which
They name dogs me twice.
made me think
They
about
keep name
something.
doxing
I did
me,
a
bro.
story many years ago when I was at the paper, but the story was on satellite campuses. And the guy that I was interviewing said, I believe if this technology existed back when Paul was evangelizing, that he would have used it all. There would have been satellite campuses everywhere. Paul would have just set them up. All he had, though, was pen and scroll. That's basically all he had. What do you think about that? Do you think that's probably true? Do you think that's that's biblical, or do you have issues with satellite campuses? I guess that they can be good or bad, I suppose. I'm asking you first.
Oh.
Because I figured you had an opinion. You've got a little bit of experience.
I do think, like Paul would have had a podcast. Absolutely.
You think?
Yes, because
Paul would have had a podcast. Yep.
I think he would have used whatever means possible to advance the gospel. And so, to Lance's point, in his day, the cutting edge technology was writing epistles and having them delivered and circulated. So there was a way to do that even more effectively, like this. I think you would have used it, and I think you see that kind of throughout the history of the church too, when radio and TV became
Who's Red Fish, bro? Is that Ty?
What's the word I'm
Is it
looking
Ty?
for?
Popular
in the mainstream.
Yeah, more accessible to people. The question I have,
we're just watching my Journey podcast that I did a while back because I promised this dude right here that I would make a video of me watching it.
About, I mean, I didn't really address the satellite question specifically. Yes, I think that it's not, I don't think the satellite model is as big and scary as people think it would be. I think there's probably a way to do it.
But do you think it accomplishes the same goal to the same level?
I think it depends on what your goal, like we need to define
the terms.
Define the terms.
Well, I just
like having
if we took our church right now and we created a satellite campus and you pumped in, whoever's preaching that week, do you think it's accomplishing the same thing to the same extent?
Accomplishing what though? Like
what you're accomplishing here at Ridgecrest A, is it being accomplished at Ridgecrest B to the same level and to the same extent?
Well, I think that depends on what kind of infrastructure you're putting with wherever the satellite campus is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think what a lot of people have a problem with, and I don't really know if it's a problem or not, but what you hear people saying is that you don't have a guy that is physically there to be your shepherd.
Yeah.
That he's somewhere else, whether he's
do it now.
Nearby, but not physically on that campus, or he may be even way far off and he's never going to set foot on your campus. And that there's supposed to be a shepherd for every local expression of the body. That's what I've heard people say they have a problem with. I don't know what I think about that one or the other, but
what is this?
Well, they're all are in the.
Hey, come here. Come on. All right, fine then.
Those models, there are
campus pastors.
There's called,
but it's different. I mean,
okay, but we've got
speaking life into the congregation each week. They may be shepherding, but how does that look in terms of?
Well, to play devil's advocate for that, we have 4,000 members, and Brother Ray can't adequately shepherd all 4,000.
But that's where the rest of the staff comes in to help in those areas.
Okay, but
we're still overseen by one person who's directly speaking life into these people each week.
But those churches that have that model have that, is what their argument would be.
Not the same extent.
Broxton would say the healthy ones.
Yeah, the healthy ones. And I think Paul did the same. I mean, using the technology he had, he didn't just become the pastor of one church and then stay there forever. I mean, he was on the move. He would plant a church, get it up and going, and then somebody else would be appointed, and then he'd go and do something elsewhere. But then he would use the technology to build up that church. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, Mark,
what
if you're 14? If Pastor Ray was here one Sunday and preaching like he always does, but then the next Sunday he was at a different campus and you got him on a screen instead of him actually being here. And that's kind of how church was, that you'd get him couple of times a month where he was live in person, and then a couple of times a month where he was on a screen but preaching from somewhere else. Would that make any difference to you?
I'm not shaking it, bro.
No, not really.
I think it's a generational thing.
You think?
I think it
Well,
may
I guess
be.
because, this generation is so consumed by technology, it's no different than them watching than us watching a reel or a podcast, I guess. But it's interesting.
Well, I think to go back to the point about definitions, like the definitions are very important
I'm not
because
shaking it, dude.
using the medium
Feels
of
so
a
weird.
podcast or a live stream
I'll shake it for
as a
5
supplement
gifted.
is not the same. Like this is not, the journey's not a church.
Right.
And
But
so
to some people, it could be if they don't have a healthy view of what church is.
well, I think people could be using it as an excuse to not assemble with the body of believers.
They could. Yep.
Same with the live stream.
Same with a live stream, but that
Why
does
not?
not make
Because
it
that's weird. If you give me 5
a
gifted, I'll
church.
do it.
My questions with because there's a be all things to all people argument, I
If you give me
think
5,
that
I'll shake
happens
it and
here.
fall back in my chair.
And so with social media, live streaming, podcasting, there's cost and benefit. So part of the conversation we were having before we started officially has a lot to do with the cost. And my question to Mark would be, I don't really know how to formulate this, but I think there's obviously so much benefit. There is a mission field online, whether it be live streaming or social media, but there's also all of the harm. So, because to me, you get in a chat and you get somebody streaming
Todd, that's
and
Eli.
you start going back and forth and debating, like, are we really debating to try to arrive at truth? Or are we just arguing with each other for the sake of arguing with each other and for the sake of getting views? So from we always hear that there's a revival among Gen Z. Like how much does that kind of stuff impact your spiritual life? Because you only heard me talk for probably 15 minutes before we started recording today, but I have been very much affected by this, and there's some days when I'm probably not in a good place with it, and I just want to say, turn it off. How do you what do you think about that? How does that affect you and your is that making sense?
So what do I think about people trying to do the revival? Is what you mean?
Is there a revival among Gen Z, and then all of these mediums that you see an opportunity in?
I'll do it later.
How do you guard yourself against the negative side of it?
So I'd say yes, there is kind of a revival going because we've had more Christians in there now than there were in 2000. I think we've rose about like 1 million or something like that, right? I would say the bad part about it is when people try to force it on other people.
Yeah.
When people try to force the gospel on it. I've seen people saying that you're going to go to hell, you're going to go to hell, but they don't just have a time just to talk with someone.
So you think the bigger issue is the lack of discussion that comes from the you're wrong, I'm right.
Yeah.
And so do you think people your age are more open to that discussion, or do you think they could care less about it?
I think people my age, because we can't focus a lot, right? So we just don't care. Like we don't listen to them at all.
Okay.
We kind of just, we're in our own world because we don't have a good attention span.
So
I think that's kind of what I was getting at of
yes,
there's opportunity for these mediums, but because of what it causes, it just would cause some people to just check out, and then you lose them. Like you can't say that you're using this for the kingdom if nobody's there listening.
So
hey, my man Mark's got some views
would he
now.
be Gen Z or Gen Alpha?
I think you're probably Gen Z.
Yeah, I'm Gen Z. I was born though last year.
Gen Z. Okay. So based on what we've been talking about, what do you feel as a member of that generation? What do you feel the church does well in trying to reach you guys? And what do you feel like we could do better?
I think they got to do a good job with posting their stuff on people because people just scroll all day and they always do something to catch people's attention. I think that's a good way to do it. I also think that we have people who invite other people to church very well. But yeah.
That's good.
What about, is there anything negative that you think turns people off to like your generation, stuff that the church does that maybe just flat out, hey, I'm just not gonna.
I don't like it when there are pastors who post and then they're completely wrong and then they'll accuse people of being sinners all the time. I've seen this one video where this pastor went up to this girl who was wearing like revealing clothing and saying that you're a sinner and you need to leave. But the Bible says, "God, come as you are," right? But he was just like, these guys always got to catch these sinners, and then they kept it up. But every time someone told the truth on social media, they would always block it.
So what I'm hearing is you like that there's an online component that allows the church to catch people's attention, but also I think what you're saying at the same time is that there needs to be a deeper discussion about things of faith, and more so than, hey, just letting you know, if you don't know Christ, you're going to hell, and see you later, even though that's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is that your age, you guys want to have a more well-rounded discussion about what all that means.
Yeah. Well, that's what I want. I don't know really about other people. I like to have a good discussion about Christ than just watching a video about it.
That's I think you see with your generation, and even maybe the generation before and the generation after, you see the lack of being able to just talk to each other. Like the internet is so great and it's so bad at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you have, like you guys could sit right here and you'd rather text each other or Snapchat each other or Facebook each other or Instagram each other, whereas like you really see, and I've seen this with students your age, like if you just get to know someone, that opens the door for so much more. And they may not believe the gospel the first time you bring it to them.
Yeah.
But if they start to understand, hey, there's this guy at school who like sits with me at lunch, or there's this kid who like keeps talking to me. Oh, well, now I have a friend. Well, I don't really believe what they're saying, but over time you sprinkle that in such a way that they're open to, hey, come to church with me, and that's where I think you see your generation is very much so open for discussion, but it's the like, let me beat it over your head that they're not open to. And it's very fascinating to see how that dynamic works,
I think there's probably a good question or discussion in there about preaching style, because you'd hear some of perhaps an older generation well-meaning say, where is the fire and brimstone preaching? And I'm not saying there's not a place for that, but I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe what you're saying is, if that's all that you're doing, you're missing Jesus's message to come as you are. Now, there's a danger of going the other direction, that the point of that is not stay as you are.
Right.
But what do you think about that in regards to preaching style of like fire, brimstone, harsh preaching, but also grace? Does that make sense?
I'd say harsh preaching is a wonderful thing. There's also
a man of the past. I love it.
But I think it's great because you're gonna get people into the right headspace. I just don't like it when churches do like a feel good thing where they try to make you feel good about your faith, but they're not telling you the actual truth of what you're doing wrong.
Yeah. So you would say the big key.
Do any of y'all know a church? Don't say it. Just say if you know one. But I think we all know a church that does that. I think we all know one.
Is really, and tell me if I'm wrong, the element of truth.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of hellfire brimstone that is truth, but at times I feel like it lacked the practical, how do you accomplish this truth? Whereas then you have the opposite side of, hey, come to church and we'll make you feel good, but yet you have no conviction to change towards truth. And that's the danger, is like, okay, the one side, it was great. And I mean, I think about my mom, she tells stories of growing up where she's like, I was scared to death at times because, like, you know, the Lord's going to return and the Lord's coming back, the Lord's coming back, and he is coming back. I mean, tomorrow he's closer than today, and the next day, I mean, that is true. But it was always the idea of like, I'm going to go to bed or I'm going to wake up and like, he's returned and like scared to death kind of deal. But you see now there's kind of this lack of some of that of truth. And I think that's what you were meaning with the social media aspect is like these churches are doing a great job of pushing out Christ, but some of them are pushing him out in such a way that it's not the full truth. And I think people your age notice it. They realize like, hey, something isn't right.
People my
But they
age definitely do not notice it. It's just me. I have discernment. I have like discernment through the roof, and that's why I can notice it, bro. People my age, bro. The church that I'm talking about, they my I don't know if I could talk about it. I have friends who love that church, and I just know, and there's something wrong with it, and it's because of that. Friends who love it. I'm back. Hey, we're talking about feel good churches. I'm talking about a church that all my friends love, but like I do not like.
may not know what the true truth is.
That's good. I mean, I've told you a little bit of my story before. I mean, when I was 7, all I got was 1977 television preachers. We didn't grow up in church. And that was primarily fire and brimstone. And it scared me. But it didn't scare me toward the cross.
Right.
Because I was a 7-year-old. I couldn't process what all that meant. And to the extent that a 7-year-old could, all I knew was that that man talked about God in a very angry way. And that if God makes him that angry about stuff, that's probably not something I want to be a part of. And I didn't for a long time. And I probably would not have if I didn't want to hang out with my best friend who invited me one day.
Right.
And I got the more well-rounded
Talk about my sermons, bro, on YouTube. You don't even check out my YouTube channel, Ty. I don't want to hear it.
Gospel,
right?
Which included that there is a hell waiting for people that do not know Christ, but there's also grace and forgiveness and all of those other things that Christ talked about as well. So, I mean, I think that's true across generations.
Yeah. I think early on for myself in ministry, I always found it hard of where is that line, especially with younger students, because my first few years was just fifth and sixth grade, and now it's really middle school age. But it was always hard for me of,
my bad.
Okay, I want to share this truth with them, but I need to share it in such a way that it doesn't scare them into XYZ decision. And I feel like early on, I would miss out on maybe some of those invitation style moments because I knew the passage that I had to preach or was preaching was one that, you know, if you share it in such a way, I mean, you're going to have scared decisions, and that's not the goal.
Right.
You know? And so I feel like over the last really 2 years, that has been a change in me and how I deliver it of like, there's moments where I have to tell them like, look, this is what God's word says, and this is the truth that you guys need to know. And this is not intended to scare you, but it is a scary thing.
Yeah,
but you need to be aware. But
I think the thing that scares me the most about the Bible is Judgment Day. I think that's the scariest thing to me is Judgment Day. Because once you know what goes on Judgment Day, it will scare the absolute crap out of you. We'll watch a YouTube video about it later. But dude, Judgment Day scares the crap out of me, dude. I don't know what it is. It's just how it works. Like if you're, yeah, it scares the absolute crap out of me. We can watch a video about it later. But dude, that scares the absolute crap out of me, dude.
there's like this weird balance that you have to find
because hell should scare you.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it's interesting.
And that's always
Because hell, like, dude, like the lake of fire and you're burning in hell, but you can't see it. It's all black. You can't see hell, but you can feel it. Like that's like the scariest thing. Like you're gonna be burning in hell in the lake of fire, but like you can't even see it.
kind of going back to the discussion we had a little bit last week, is what is the purpose of the weekly gathering?
Yeah.
And I think the answer to that question should affect preaching style a little bit, because if you have a room full of lost people, then there should be the element of if you die in your sin, you're going to die apart from Christ.
Mm-hmm.
But if the room is full of believers and it's like, well, I got that part. I've been following Jesus for 50 years. What does this mean
50?
for
Broxton, come on.
today? Like, what does God have for me today? And it's just, it's a fine balancing act when you're preaching to a room and you don't know
the audience,
you don't know the makeup of the room. And that's why I'm in many instances, I'm glad that I don't have, I know when I come and talk in a microphone every week and I have no idea who's listening, but I'm glad that I don't have that responsibility every week.
It's tough,
like Brother Ray does.
because you do have people at all different parts of the journey, where you have people that don't know Christ. You have people that are very new in the faith and need
he's probably in his early 30s.
part of the message. And then you have people that have been in the faith for a long time and need yet another part of it. And I think Pastor Ray does a really good job of melding all of those together each week, and it's not easy.
Yeah, I think you see a lot of it going to summer camp with kids. Is like your first or second night.
This is the end of my testimony. I think I'm about to talk about the very end of my full entire testimony.
Night is going to be that kind of gospel message night, and the rest of the week is going to be this.
He was giving me an example of someone who would. Asher just followed me. He was giving an example of someone who followed Jesus for 50 years. He never said that. He was giving an example of someone who followed for 50 years. But I said that. I said, come on, Broxton, because I figured that was just like an overshot. I thought you could have said like 15 or 20.
What does it look like to turn from these sins, or how do you live now, and that sort of thing. And you see what you're talking about, like in a camp style setting, because for many, they do know Christ, but for a good bit too, they just are coming to summer camp. But those.
Yeah, so that's how I felt too, because I felt like, when I'm saved, but when you learn about Judgment Day, and if you're lukewarm, you might not be in the book of life. If you struggle with one of the 7 deadly sins, you may or may not be in the book of life, which is super duper scary.
Evangelist really is what most of them are. They understand the both sides. So you have the initial side of like, hey, we need to share the gospel and share it to its full extent. But we also got to share with these people, how does that change me when I get back home? And you really get to see it on display at camp in a different way.
Have you had many camp experiences yet, Mark?
Like Wired?
Like Wired?
Two, right? 2 Wired.
So what I'm about to tell, a supernatural thing that happened in my life at Wired, recent Wired, the one that I went with y'all.
So, and some beach retreats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dino.
What's been your thoughts about the camp experiences when it participates?
I think they're great because they bring a bunch of people together to have fun and learn about God every day.
I just don't like Sunday
I think it's a great
school.
thing.
That's the only thing I don't
Good.
like.
So your experiences have been positive.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome way. Everybody that goes to church. I mean, the guys in your class, but you don't really like hang out with them until you experience camp together. And then you're like, oh, we're a lot more similar than like we are different. Or like, yeah, I never really want to talk to that person, but like now we're friends.
I'm like completely different from y'all. It's actually kind of sad.
That sort of thing. How would you say interacting with people at school that are lost, how does that happen, or how has that happened in the past for you? Has that been difficult?
It's been. I feel like when I was friends with them, I was way further from God because they were not the best people, right? They were they were swearing all that stuff. And first I just didn't like it, and then I kind of just got used to it, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I left homeschool. I mean, I left my own school to go do homeschool because I wanted to evangelize more, and I didn't have time to do that. Just sit in the classroom for 8 hours a day.
That's the
So I
main
left to
reason
do
I left my
evangelism.
old school.
And
Is
I
'cause I wanted
remember
to
I was like,
evangelize.
God, I was praying in my room, right? And I was like, God, I need to surround myself with the right people. And literally, like 3 people, and the
The
people I do
main
Bible
reason.
study with, like called me like 5 minutes later.
Wow.
Oh man.
Oh shoot, there's a super.
I was like,
not
God, I was praying in my room, right? And I was
no.
to
Listen to this. I want y'all to listen to what I say here.
evangelize more. And I didn't have time to do that. Just sit in the classroom for 8 hours a day. So I left to do evangelism. And I remember I was like, God, I was praying in my room, right? And I was like, God, I need to surround myself with the right people. And literally, like 3 people, and the people I do Bible study with, like called me like 5 minutes later.
Wow.
Oh man. That's neat.
Isn't that insane? I'm not even kidding. I was sitting on my bed, almost tearing up. I was literally almost tearing up on my bed. Because I get emotional when I'm talking to God, like legitly. When I talk to God, I get emotional for some reason. And I remember I was literally tearing up, and then they called me, and I teared up even more. Like I'm a crybaby, right? I cry at literally everything except movies. Bro, you don't answer my calls because dude, I'm busy. You called me yesterday, and dude, I was at the movie theater. Sorry. Who the crap is this guy? It's my friend from school.
That is neat. So have you had any other moments like that where you're asking God to, provide this or show you that?
Well,
and
I
Spider-Man, yeah.
before recent Wired I said, God, I want you to change my life. And I literally, like on the second day, I saw Jesus on stage.
When I was sitting with y'all, I literally saw Jesus. I'm not even kidding. When we were sitting up in the front row, the worst seats ever, I saw Jesus on stage. Lord, I'm not even kidding. I saw Jesus.
Whoa.
And then I remember the first day, I see everyone like raising their hands, right? And we're worshiping, and it's like God like took my hands out of my pocket.
Ah.
Mystical.
I cried
I
about
like
every
that.
single day at
A man of the
Wired.
mystical.
I literally cried every single day at Wired. It's actually kind of sad. I cried every single day. But dude, I'm a crybaby when it comes to like like God. I'm just a crybaby. I literally cry at everything. You know what I mean? I don't cry at Christian movie. The only movie that I have cried at is Castaway when Wilson gets lost. That's the only movie that I have cried at.
Of the Mystics. Too bad Chase isn't here. What would you say? We've kind of talked about this a little bit, but what are 1 to 3 things? Or however many you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell our generation? Of course, we're a different generation than Lance, but just by and large, that is a generation that's different than yours. What are we missing about the faith?
I think y'all do it fine. I haven't really found a problem with it. I feel like, no, I like the harsh. Bless you. I like the harsh. I
said bless you. Actually, I kind of changed my mind on that. Wait, I'm trying to think. I literally had in my mind. Okay, I literally like thought about this like the other day of how I answer this question. I kind of changed my answer. The reason what I think they don't do well is with the getting out to more people. I don't think they do that well. I think they have a good uh, I think snorts in the subtitle. I think they have a good, thanks for following. I think they can do a good job at reaching the people at the church. I don't think they're not doing a good job at reaching the other people that aren't in church.
harsh preaching, but there's also some people who do it too harsh. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like what y'all said that.
What I mean by that, by too harsh, I mean like, people saying you're gonna go to hell. I want you to name me one time, like, listen to this, and I want you to say it in chat. I want you to name me one time Jesus went up to a sinner and said that you're gonna go to hell if you don't follow me. Like, name one time. My stream delay's really bad. This might take a while. Name one time. Just one. There's no one that listen to me. Is anyone even in my stream? Am I talking to no one? It says I have 4 people. It says 5 people. Dang, just no one likes me. Okay, fine then. Anyway, what I was about to say is that he never did that in the Bible. The only people he did that to was to the believers. I'm thinking, bruh, oh. You don't know? Exactly. The only time he did that is to believers. He only did that to people who believed in him. That's now y'all answer. The only time he did that was to people who do not believe in him. Yeah, it doesn't work apparently.
You know, it's scared y'all. I think that's a good thing, but when people go too hard, I feel like that's where I kind of draw the line with it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think again, I like hard preaching that is backed up by solid meat to it. If you've just got that one aspect of that message, then you're not giving them the entire gospel. We were just talking last week about a very popular televangelist that we believe does not give the entire gospel on the other side. Not enough harsh truth at all in that. And if you can give a well-rounded presentation of the gospel and deliver it, in a way that really, really gets your attention because you know what the risks are, I think that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah. What is one thing or a couple things, if you could change about church, not necessarily our church, but the Big C church, maybe things to improve on, things that could look different, what would you suggest or kind of think?
I wish that most churches wouldn't care about, having a good scenery around the church and more just getting the word out.
Oh, by the way, sometime this month, I'm doing a video with Auburn. I'm gonna do we were gonna do it today, but it's Saturday. He doesn't work today. But I will be doing a video with him sooner or later.
Okay.
I know, we have big lights and everything. I wish people didn't worry about that more. Like mega churches that have people on zip lines or whatever.
They're more worried about the experience.
Look at Broxton laughing. I can't believe I said that. I said the people on zip lines. I said zip. Look at Broxton, bro. He's just laughing at me, bro. Look at this. He's just laughing at me, thinking I'm all stupid. He's laughing too. I said zipline people.
On zipline.
Zipline church.
Wasn't that Hannah Montana? Miley Cyrus?
Hannah Montana.
So you're saying more concerned with the worship itself than the worship experience.
Yeah.
So you're kind of old school, Mark. You're
But isn't that what Gen Z is?
I am old school. Yeah, I'm old school. Trust. Sorry.
Coming back to?
I think you're seeing it. Yeah.
You know any Orthodox Christians?
Oh my goodness.
I do have an Orthodox
Really?
friend, yeah. And he's very
He's
smart.
not Orthodox anymore, apparently. Actually, he doesn't even have a denomination anymore. I don't know what happened. Actually, I was going to do a video with him, but his stuff wasn't working. I haven't heard back from him since.
He's very smart with Christ and everything.
So, did I do quotations? No, he is
go to
so
an
smart with
Orthodox
Christ.
church here in Dothan?
I'm not sure what church he goes to, but I know he does go to. I know he used to be Catholic, and then his family switched to Orthodox.
Interesting.
I don't know if his family
should
did.
have him
I'm
on
pretty
the journey.
sure.
Yes. We should phone him in.
Journey.
So how does your discussions
Dude, I want to go to an Orthodox church just for fun. I want to go just just to see what it's like, bro. I kind of want to see it.
With him, how do they kind of go back
I'm
and
not
forth?
playing
Is he
COD,
very
Eli.
like how does your beliefs kind of differ in terms of
What's Orthodox?
how
It's a denomination of Christianity. I'll show y'all pictures.
things
Hold
look?
up. Like here's some picture. Like this is what an Orthodox church looks like. It's like beautiful. Like look at this. Like this is an Orthodox church. Like I want to go in one of these. Like, I want to go to a service. Like this is what they wear. I really want to see one of these. I just want to go in one and see like a service and see what they're like. Their music, bro, I think they do Latin music. Like, you know, like they sing Latin. Hold up. Hold up. I'm pretty, yeah. Like they sing Latin music or something. Like, yeah. This is what they sing. I don't know if they have those in there. Why do like this is what they sing. Imagine having to memorize this. Imagine you speak what is noster? How do you know the poster noster? What is that? They sing beautifully though.
For the peace from above and for the
Oh, they're speaking
salvation of
English.
our souls, and let us pray to the Lord.
There's one where they speak Latin. Like some of the I've had
Peace of the whole
Latin.
world, for the
Oh,
welfare of the
I didn't
Holy
memorize
Church.
anything Latin, bro. There's some that like you know. Oh my gosh, look at this baby. What is he doing? Wait, is this how they do baptisms? Oh, he's crying. Probably because he just put him upside down. What the frick? Look up. I'm not looking that. That's insane.
Well, for some reason, he still believes that you have to go to pastor for your sins.
Okay.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
didn't know that was Orthodox. I cannot believe I said that. I realized that Orthodox still go to, yeah.
I think I'm not sure. He could have changed that, but I know when I knew him, he still believed you have to go to the pastor for forgiveness.
Or priest.
We haven't really talked about that. Like we haven't really gone back and forth, but
That'd be a very interesting discussion to have.
That's how I did my nugget.
Roxton wants to go to an Orthodox church one day.
Mm.
We've pondered.
That's how I did my nuggets.
You need to look up the Potter
I'm not looking that up, bro. So I just said that's how I did my nuggets. That's how I'm dying right now because of that. That's how I did my nuggets.
Look it up, trust me.
I'm not, I will later. I will later. I will later. I want to finish this video though. I want to finish this video. Why is Brady calling me? Hold up. What do you want?
Look up that up.
No, I'm not looking that up. I'll look it up later.
No, look it up right now.
I'll look it up later. All right. Anyway, oh bums.
Walking into one a couple times after lunch.
Well, I just think it's interesting. That's all.
Yeah.
Not on the edge of converting.
No.
I mean, I would like to go to mass too.
I know we talked about on our trip to Italy that we were going to go to mass in Rome, but we ended up not going. But it would have been interesting. We did experience we were in the catacombs, Priscilla's catacombs, which is some of the earliest Christian martyrs. Early Christian martyrs, and like they were so interesting. It was like a cavern.
That's how I did my nuggets.
Underneath the ground.
Dude, I'll look it up later.
Similar, no stalagmites or stalactites, but
I want to watch this, bro.
And they had just openings.
Fine, I'll look it up. What's it called? Pater Noster. What is this? I'm working on it. I don't hear anything.
Precepti salutaribus moniti.
et divina institutione formati, audemus dicere.
Bro, now my For You page is gonna think that I'm like Catholic or Orthodox. See, they already think I'm Catholic. Look at this.
Sanctificetur nomen tuum, ad regniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas.
I've already heard this.
How to start that, so I started a YouTube channel, and I didn't post a video for like 6 months.
So you just
Why are
created
we
a channel.
restarting? I think we're like around here.
How does your discussions with him, how do they kind of go back and forth? Is he stalactites, and they had just openings where they were covered by like plaster and stuff, but they had taken there was one bone left in there. Actually, oddly enough, they were like, check out this martyr's bone. And you're like, okay, it's kind of
they got that from Spirit Halloween store.
But like they had different sizes. Like, oh, this was a child who followed Christ, and this was an adult. But we're in there, and there's some earliest depictions of some of the earliest Christian art. They don't let you take pictures. Samantha did get a picture of one thing though, but keep that on the down low.
Rule breaker.
Blow up. But there was an early depiction of like Mary with Jesus as a baby. That was like one of the earliest Christian history things.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were there, she was like, "Hey, I haven't had enough time to pray today. So would y'all be okay if I did a Hail
all
Mary?"
of y'all to type like a random phrase.
Me and
Okay, you
our
got
side
that
of the
random
family
phrase.
is not
Now
Catholic.
send it.
Some of the
3,
other were, and
2,
almost
1.
everybody but our family was Catholic. And so they start doing it, and we're all like, what do we do? And, like we just stood there and we're reverent. And Samantha's dad was like, I took my hat off. I didn't know what to do, but it was very interesting to experience, but
I said y'all would get timeout if y'all say 6, 7.
She was a Catholic nun, and she shared one of the
I want everyone just
clearest
to stop spamming
gospel
some random
messages.
stuff
I mean,
instead of 6,
it was
7. I love
very
how everyone said 6, 7.
interesting, to experience.
I think that goes back to the question about what you believe the purpose of the weekly gathering is, and everybody has a little bit different idea of what they think that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So they accentuate what they think is the most important thing.
I think the interesting thing about Catholics and Orthodox Christians is, a lot of what I've talked about in regards to spiritual frustration is just born out of like a very word centric, I hate to say version of Christianity, but Protestantism and evangelicalism is very word centric because we've had the scriptures. The thing that's interesting about Orthodox Christians
Oh my gosh,
and
I thought that was some random person creeping up on them.
Christians to a
Do you even talk?
going
Yeah,
way
I've
back,
talked like 40
at
times
least to
already.
me, is
Bro,
that
you missed like a
they
really
were
good part.
practicing Christianity
There was like a
before they
really
had the
good part that you
scriptures.
missed. I'll go back and
Whereas I feel like wouldn't know what to do
miss replay stuff.
if we didn't have the script.
They're not here. They don't have them as replayed.
I think you should get my dad on here. I think
Yes, people things.
To do it. So in closing, I'll ask you this. I mean to ask this question of every guest we have, and then it literally never happens.
I have the
So
bracelet.
it's finally going to happen with you today.
I'm not wearing it, but
What 3 guests would you recommend for the journey for our audience?
I think you should get my dad on here. I think you should get him. I'd say you.
Why should we get your dad?
I'm about to say something like really stupid. I need y'all to just bear with me for a minute, okay? Y'all got it? Type 1. Okay. Okay, everyone type 1 if you got it, okay?
Oh, then there's no fact. It's just, yeah, he's my dad.
Okay.
I'm telling you, he's got some hidden knowledge that like
he does. We did a Bible study with our family, and I did not, and he
already
spitting out knowledge I didn't know he had.
Okay.
I will say one of the most profound, I would say it's profound, but it also I think added to my frustration a little bit. Things that Matthew Johnson has ever said. And this is to your point.
They name
he
doxed me
kinda
way too
drops
many
stuff
times in
on
this,
you
bro.
when you're not expecting it.
He does.
So
And then he just smirks and like walks off. It's awesome.
That's what he did in
So-
our Bible study. He just smirked after he
At
said
Stafford
it.
Tree, we were talking about, the life you were reborn to live, I think is the name of the book. And we were having a typical discussion that really gets
I'm not going back to read
my wheels turning about, I see this over here, but what about this over here? And I think I made the comment in the discussion that, all of my problems with this are really just the result of being in ministry, and that if I had a real job where I had to
It would go away
and like clock in and like be, if I was a mechanic,
the guy
which is
with the
never gonna
beard is
happen.
black.
Chill out.
Which is
Too
never
far-
going to
too
happen.
far
But if I
exaggerated.
What do you say?
clock in and like be, if I was a mechanic, which is never going to happen.
All right. Chill out.
If
chill
I
out.
was a
Which is
mechanic.
never going to
Too
happen.
far
But
exaggerated.
if I had something to do with my hands that
Something
required
just like spilt.
less
thinking and physical
Me neither.
work for 8 hours a day, then
That's Broxton. He
97% of my
the
issues would
podcast,
go
like
away.
he runs it.
But
W. Vedmark.
my point in saying that was, I don't
It's not
have
me
that.
right now,
So I
it's
feel like I have a luxury of, I should have no excuse of not having time with the Lord. But I've found myself getting in moments where not spending time with God is not a problem for me. It's often harder for me to put it down and do the work that God expects me to do. And so I struggle with the balance between that. And Matthew said, he hadn't said anything
I
all
had a
day.
deja vu moment. For this.
And then Matthew puts his book down and says, I think it was Chariots of Fire when, what's his name, said that I feel God most when I'm doing what he called me to do.
Yeah, that's
So I
how
was
I
like,
feel.
he didn't say this, but the implication that I took from it was,
That's how I feel. I always feel God when I'm.
you will feel God when
No, dude,
you're
we're not doing
doing
that because it like never
what he's
works.
called you to do. So stop worrying about this Bible study method or this prayer method.
That's good.
And just
We could Discord. I won't be
not
really bad.
acknowledge him and not spend time in scripture and in prayer, but like do what he's called you to do. So anyway, that was a long-winded way of saying, yeah, your dad can drop some knowledge. So we should have your dad on. Who else?
I think you should gotta get Rachel on here because I think she'll be a great guest because she's kind of like me. Like she's, you can ask her the same questions. I don't really know about the third one though.
Okay.
Non-family member.
Non-Kate.
I don't know. Definitely not Kate. She is not like these things.
I love you, Kate.
I said 3 years ago she probably would do it, but probably not now.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, I mean, I feel like she might
likes
not like it,
attention,
but if we
when
got,
I offer her
we've
something,
had your
she won't
mom,
do it.
now we've had you. So if we have your dad and Rachel on, I mean, how could we not have Kate on?
I don't know.
She may be okay with that.
Well, if you get Kate and Rachel on, I think she'll do it.
Okay.
What about, is there somebody at church that you would be like, I think it'd be very interesting to hear this person's story?
Yeah, because those kind of people are easier to get than people we don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody on staff or just in the church.
He's about to pull out a random name. We're gonna have to look him up
Me?
in Rock.
No, it's not you.
Inactive.
I'm not really sure. Have you done Aaron?
Yeah.
Oh, dang it. Okay.
This is another thing I'm about to say stupid, okay?
Both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, DM Auburn. I mean, I
Uh,
DM'd Auburn and he let me on.
I tell you,
I don't know his last
the
name.
one Aaron we haven't had on yet.
The
would
one
be
with
good.
your last name?
Oh yeah, Aaron Johnson.
I did not know
Aaron
his
Ashworth
last
would
name.
be
I could
really
not
good.
find
We've
him.
had Aaron
I love you,
Johnson
Aaron.
That's who you were
times.
talking about, right? Aaron Ashworth.
Aaron
No, I was
Ashworth.
talking about Aaron Johnson. What we could
No,
do
but
after.
Aaron-
You could text him.
He
I mean,
was-
I
got a
asked him if
great
I could be
story.
on. He
He
said,
would.
yeah, sure.
All right. Well, we'll take those names under advisement. Y'all got anything else for Mark before we head out?
I don't think
I
so.
think it's been a good episode.
All right. Well, Mark, thanks for coming on. Y'all go give The Narrow Path a subscribe on the YouTube channel. We'll try
After
to.
this video, I now have 135 subscribers.
I'll try to remember to link to it in the episode. I'm probably going to forget. But
Make sure all your friends, listen to our stuff.
do you have any friends that listen to The Journey?
Oh no,
Okay.
not at all.
That can change.
It's a big
That
avenue
can
for us
change.
We
here.
need to work on that. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next week.
So what y'all think?
Welcome back to another.
All right. It was all things racing. that was me. So.